Reversing curses. It's Pluto retrograde, so let's talk about it. First of all, what is a curse? Probably a helpful definition. C-U-R. The root word is Latin. It means run or happen. And S-E means apart. Also Latin. So curse being to run apart, or like in separation, to create separation, or to happen apart. Literally, curses are to break someone away from themselves. And really, one of the first identifiers of this in your practice is if you are feeling separated from yourself. Sometimes on a human level, that happens because of trauma that we've experienced. And also, who's to say that trauma is not a form of a magical curse? Trauma that has been passed down through generations, that would be considered a generational curse. If the ancestors who come before you have been separated from themselves and you have inherited that separation in yourself also, where is the origin of it? Both ancestrally and in your life, if there is one. Because what happens with that kind of curse, to be separated from oneself and not have the realization that you are separated from yourself, say that there's trauma that you've experienced that hasn't been healed yet. Maybe you haven't had the time or the space or the energy to do so. Or it's an ancestral lineage trauma that you are unaware of because you haven't brought it up yet in your heart, in your life, and in your practice. But because there is that separation in yourself because of ancestral happenings, there's the opportunity for another practitioner to come in and create even further separation where there already was separation. And that is usually how people are able to curse another person. Because if you really truly are like whole within yourself and you have your protections up, it's going to be pretty difficult for another practitioner to come in and create some kind of curse where you become separated from yourself, because immediately your warning triggers in your practice are going to go off and there's going to be some form of something isn't right here. Let's rework and remove some things. Let's cleanse it out. But especially if you're a beginning practitioner, it does take some time to become that protected. I know there was certain times in my practice where I did not have that kind of protection around me. We all start somewhere. So if you're noticing that you are more separated from yourself recently, don't run from it. Literally, a part of a curse is to get a person to run. So don't run from the separation, because if you're able to sit and hold hands across that chasm or that space with that and reconnect or rebind yourself together, it is a tether. You're still tethered. You're just a part. Still a part of you. Can't be completely gone. So if you're able to retether yourself to the part of you that was removed or that you feel separated from, sometimes it takes time to sit there and rebind yourself together. Because if you rebind yourself together without removing what has been separating you, like there needs to be the cleansing and removal of that first before you're able to rebind yourself back together. It can also happen in a simultaneous process, and there's many different workings where that can happen, but you're working on that removal. Sometimes there's also uncrossings, like if you've been crossed, and that's what's separating you. So to uncross oneself, to unbind what has been bound to you that is separating you. So sometimes there's unbindings too. So sit with your sight. Sit with your sight, make offerings to yourself and to your spirits if you need to, the spirits that you have healthy relationships with. And since we're in a Pluto retrograde, things are naturally going to come undone in this time period while we're in a Pluto retrograde. We naturally have the insight right now to go back to the origin of where curses could have started with our sight, with our abilities in the spirit, to identify what has happened and what needs to be done so that we no longer run from who we are and where we were, and we can become whole again. Also, if you're someone who needs to curse someone, I mean, hey, everybody's practice is different. Curses right now are not sticky. They don't stick to people in Pluto retrogrades. Those types of bindings are not naturally protective for you during a Pluto retrograde. Like if you needed to do work against another person. Right now is a time of focusing on that removal of what has been to protect yourself so that when we are moving forward with Pluto direct again, if there are enemies that appear around you in the spirit, you're able to not only protect yourself, but handle that situation how you need to. And if you're cursing someone, that's really serious. Like what you're putting out does return to you. So just really think about it if that's something that you're practicing. There's a lot of different ways to handle practitioners that have come against you. You don't just have to curse them. So get creative. That's part of magic, you know? Everybody's practice is different, but in my opinion, we shouldn't curse people. I don't curse people. There's other forms of magic that I practice and specialize in that I'm able to wield if I need to. So if you're able to figure out your other tools that protect you and that you're able to correct the order of things with if people were to come against you, just don't bind yourself if you're binding another. For the beginning practitioners out there, that's just a word of caution. Okay, that's it. Love you. Get your curses off of you. Get them done. Get them out. Get them gone. Pluto retrogrades are time to spend in meditation to realize how people have premeditated on you. Kind of gross, but it's really important work to do. So do what you need to do, go and brew, and I love you. And good luck getting through all that you need to get through with the Pluto retrograde and the undoings of the curses and the bindings and the works that have been put on you previously. No more, and I agree. I'll talk to you soon.